Hello everyone, welcome back. Patamon can now digivolve into Angemon. Look at the win points. I almost wanted to do a build up and be like, he can digivolve too, but everyone knows that a hamster turns into a hot guy. No, you do not have impure thoughts about Angemon. He is an apostle of clouds, and if you tempt him, he will get cast down to earth, where he'll probably be bored. I don't know how hard it would be to go from being able to fly to not being able to fly, but I would be mad, you know? I would be like, sure, let's pick up evil. Let's give that a try, I guess. So imagine going on a first date with Angemon and you're like, oh yeah, awesome, cool. And then one day he's like really tired and he just turns back into a hamster. Like, would that be a deal breaker? Would you still be able to go out with Angemon? I mean, is that even Angemon anymore? Data is specifically odd and separate things. Like, you can have Digimon that are like these tiny little hamsters, and then they digivolve and they're all like, yes, it is I who have been protecting the digital world for over 3,000 years. But then when they turn back, like, do they remember that? You know, did you still save the digital world? It's just saying it as a hamster doesn't have quite the same emphasis, or do you not remember? I don't know. So I tried to bring us up to a number of steps to where we're really close to what I think is a help wave. I know this is probably, in fact, I know it's not a multiple of 3,000, but some stuff has happened. Like, I've had moments where like the help wave starts on like an off number, and I'm not sure how that works, but just in case, you know, we're gonna go up to this number and see what happens. So we got a lot of steps. Yesterday we started off at 10,000, now we're almost down to 5,000. Thank God for my legs, which are now useless. But, you know, I'm sitting in a chair and I plan on sitting in a chair the rest of the day. That's how Kakujo do. He goes from sitting and being useless to exercising really hard for an hour and then going back to being useless. In fact, I think that just described most people, so. Yay, we're all the same. In a way. All right, let's see what happens. Here we go. Ah! See what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking about? Do you think this can count? Well, I mean, it said catch already, and it's because I'm recording with my camera, so it's a... Why? Why is it always Death Meramon? Well, joke's on you, buddy, because the last help wave I got before I started this video was another Patamon, which means my Patamon is powered the heck up. Hamster, Digivolve 2, hot guy! Huh. His fists are a-flying. Why is it that every Digimon seems to do that? I'm starting to think that it's not them actually, like, separating their fist, it's them... It's like it's an abstract thing, like, you know, flying fists. Also, we killed Death Meramon. Good. Good. It has death in its name. I mean, in the Japanese version. If you've been following this and you're a tad confused, it's because Death Meramon is called Skull Meramon in the English version, but I do think that Death Meramon is a more apt name because it should be dead. Well, dang, Patamon, you're already 2/3 of the way to becoming the next form, Magna Angemon, right? And then what is actually next? Seraphimon? There's some other Digimon, and they really do just kind of look like Angemon put on more and more clothes. Or I'm sorry, when they're a holy person, they call him vestments. He puts on more and more vestments. By the way, where can I buy vestments? Do they have them? Is there a store? Is there an outlet? Is it like when you buy school uniforms, you gotta go to a specific depot for it and everything's over frickin' priced? I'm just saying school uniforms are expensive. I don't like the idea of uniforms in schools in general, because yeah, those you wanna act like you're making everyone the same. You wanna act like you're leveling the playing field by having kids all wear the same color shirt. These shirts cost more than normal shirts. You geniuses! And yes, as briefly stated, there was a help wave in which we fought another Patamon. It was magnificent. My Patamon was blowing bubbles, the other Patamon was blowing bubbles, I got bubbles in my eyes still burn, but at least they powered up. You know, before they were pathetic. Before it was 3 HP before, 1 attack before, and now we got like 2 attack. Oh, what? So the help wave only powers up the rookie form of them, huh? Because pre-help wave, I checked the stats, and yeah, it was 1 attack, 2 attack. Contributing more to my theory that when they digivolve, there's something about them that's just completely, fundamentally different. I don't know how I feel about that. When they evolve, they change. When they evolve, we lose a friend, but we make a friend. And he's hot! Just so you all know, I am a proponent of equal treatment. When we get Tailmon and she becomes Angemon, I will objectify her just as much, okay? Just to be fair. Oh man, yesterday I launched the Patreon, and I'm like seriously surprised and overwhelmed by the response so far. It's been just very positive, and I've actually got like, how many patrons? Like 7? It's amazing. We've already hit the first goal, which guarantees we'll be able to afford at least one digital pet to feature each month. So once we're done with this one, we'll move on to the next one. I had actually already previously ordered a couple digital pets that I would still like to feature, so they might show up first. But hey, there's that little bit of guesswork taken out of the equation. So if you've donated, thank you to the moon and back. And if you watch these videos and aren't able to donate, still, you get in the spaceship. Let's go to the moon with us, because it's all extremely helpful and appreciated. I'm just glad. I'm just happy that there are people that believe in me and believe in this thing and that love Digimon like this, you know? And for a special treat, I ordered a Digimon figure that we can take a look at today. It's not, don't get excited. I'm not sure if it's real. I ordered it from wish.com and it's interesting because it actually looks pretty good, okay? Today we're looking at the Mega House Digimon Yamato Ishida and Gabumon GEM PVC figure. I don't know if it's supposed to be pronounced GEM or GEM. GEM sound like it's the GEM series. I have compared it to as many pictures as I could find of the, you know what we might call the real versions, and this looks very authentic. It's even got like the little text down here. They wouldn't put that text if it was fake. They're not allowed to do it. They would go to fake jail. It's like regular jail, except all the bars are made out of those gross phallic squishy things that are in every wish.com search result. Inmates don't escape. They don't want to touch them. I wouldn't either. I would just opt to stay in fake jail. Now, the first thing that I usually notice when it comes to figures that aren't authentic are the eyes are derpy as hell. And so this one's actually not that bad. Hey, camera, you want to try focusing again? We got good details. Everything seems to play out fine. It stands up just... Okay, maybe that was my fault. Yes, good. There we go, that's fine.
Also, they put a disturbing amount of detail into the butt. And then there's the tail going through it. It's definitely some tension of the sexual variety here.
Check that detail out, though. There's a tiny little blue Digivice, just like the one we have, because this is Yamato's Digivice. I like that. Do you think a knockoff would have gotten that detail right? Come on. Why even go to the bother of making a knockoff at that point? It does seem like a lot of the times when you order from Wish, especially if you're ordering something that your brain says this feels too good to be true, it's going to be too good to be true. Like, these figures aren't like extremely discounted compared to a lot of the other things on Wish, but really, the things that I've ordered, the worst things about them is they just haven't come in their original box. Like, a lot of the times they'll just come up wrapped up in like in a bubble wrap burrito, which is fine as long as the figure works, you know? I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like this might be straight up real. I mean, Exhibit A, it says made in China. Wait a second, even if this is a knockoff, it's made in China. The only thing that really doesn't feel super solid is, I'm sure you just noticed it, Yamato/Matt's head just does this. It totally... calm down. It totally just like pops off, you know, like they do, but the thing is, there's not really any resistance whenever it's on there. It's just kind of... He's just kind of nuzzling Gabumon. Maybe that's a feature? I mean, if I were a marketing man, yeah, I'd be like, yes, with Gabumon snuggling action. At the end of the day, all I have to say is I paid like a fifth of the price, and it sits on my shelf and it looks like a Digimon figure. Once again, I am not sponsored by Wish. I wouldn't accept their sponsor. There's just too many phallic squishies for me to associate myself with that brand. I just have no self-control and sometimes browse wish.com. I feel like I should stop saying the website name because it sounds more and more like I'm actually sponsored by them. For today's drawing, there was a suggestion in the last video to draw Gerald opening a drawer and finding a bunch of eraser snakes, and I was like, that's a little gross. I don't know if I want to draw that. But then another person asked for it. John Ryan White and Sideways 117 were both just on the same freaking wavelength, you know? So if someone asks twice, I feel like I'm obligated, like it's peer pressure, you know? Like I feel like, oh, now there's like twice as many people that need this, so I guess we're doing it now. Here, Sad Agumon and Gabumon, cover my cardboard box so the screen doesn't look too stupid. We gotta worry about angles, folks. If I don't, you're only gonna see like my hand doing this. Remember, I think I did that like a bunch on this stuff, so we gotta put at these angles, right? One of these days I'll get a better solution together, but for now, I'm going to draw Gerald finding a drawer full of eraser snakes. It kind of looks like he's inside the drawer of eraser snakes, and he's like holding it up like it's his pants and maybe his legs should be coming down to the bottom here. I wouldn't think about that too much. It's like a cursed image, but with thoughts. One has to wonder in these kinds of drawings, how much detail will I put in? How many eraser snakes shall I draw? And usually my answer is enough to convey the point, although that is actually just a lot of eraser snakes. Depends on what you're going for. I like it when I see artists that are doing like incredible amounts of detail work. You know, you see that in a lot of like in a lot of older manga, a lot of older comics in general too. Have you ever heard of Art Spiegelman? He was one of those guys that was like, you know, a lot of his stuff is not safe for work, so, you know, be prepared for that if you go looking for him. He's attributed with at least partially kind of taking comics from being this thing that's seen as just for kids into something serious. He applied a lot of, like, you know, this artistic knowledge of his into comics, and frankly, we're lucky to have had him. At least I'm pretty sure he's dead. If there are two things I'm bad at, one of them is knowing who's alive and who's not, and the other is just geography. I'm just really bad with maps. I have no sense of direction. Like, if any of you here are Ranma fans, or at least are aware of it, Ryoga levels of bad direction. Like, one time I was trying to drive home from hanging out with my brother-in-law. You know, the one who busted this brush. And this was before I got a smartphone, because you typically smartphones stress me out, but I had to get one before I went to PAX West last year because I don't want to be lost in Seattle. Anyway, I'm driving back from hanging out with him late at night, and I don't have a smartphone, so I don't have GPS, and I just become completely lost. I'm trying to head east like 5 miles, and I end up going east like 20 miles. I'm trying to call everyone I know, and it's like 2 in the morning. Finally, I get a hold of my brother-in-law's wife, and she like sleepily gives me instructions on how to get back home. Oh God, it was terrible. Now I have a smartphone, and now I have a GPS, and that's the only hope I have. I mean, people like to look at people like me on our smartphones within the car, you know, using it for directions, and they're like, oh my gosh, oh, millennials. Oh man, they'll never learn how to read a map. I'm like, man, I tried. I really did, okay? This is not an age or generation issue. I just suck. Speaking of eraser snakes. Aw. Oh, there's not enough to make an eraser snake. Sad Agumon! Oh, now he's really sad. So there you have it. Gerald is finding a bunch of eraser snakes in a drawer that I now realize it looked like he's pulling them out of Togemon's butt. My life is so hard. See y'all tomorrow. Have a good one.